Follow-up is everything, and timing of follow-up is monumental. Because if you take a day to follow up with somebody that inquired about your service or product, you've lost them. If you respond to them in 15 minutes or less, shows that you're on top of the job. Being first is paramount because it sets the bar and you can set the standard. That's where follow-up is important, and not only prior to the sale, but more importantly, after sale.
Welcome to the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Join host Marco Torres, co-founder of MarketingBoost.com, along with expert guests as they deliver incredible, proven solutions to your marketing challenges in each power-packed episode. Captain Marco has guided thousands of entrepreneurs, growing their sales and marketing through the use of value-add incentives. His Facebook groups are home to more than 84,000 entrepreneurs who are raking in sales with his advice. Get ready to be blown away with game-changing lessons for your business.
Welcome to another episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Our goal is to bring you experts in business to motivate you, inspire you to continue to grow your business to the next level. Today, we are blessed to be speaking with Frederick Dudek, Freddy D, as he's known otherwise, author of the renowned book, Creating Business Superfans. He's an accomplished sales and marketing executive with over 30 years of experience in achieving remarkable sales performance results in global business markets, with a successful track record in the SaaS industry and now in the interpretation and translation industry. Frederick brings expertise and insight to help businesses thrive as the host of the up-and-coming Business Superfans podcast as well. Welcome to the show, Freddy D.
Hey, good morning, Marco.
So tell us a little bit about that book, Creating Business Superfans. I understand you took advantage of the pandemic time to put your mind on paper and write a book. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, it was something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And then I was like, okay, what am I doing now? And my companionette, she was working, and I said, I'm going to start writing this book. And so I threw down, I wrote one version of it partially, and then I had her read it, and I had a couple of friends read it, and they go, it's okay, but doesn't have legs. And I was like, oh, crushed. And so crumbled it all up, started all over. And then all of a sudden I got this idea of, if you think of a sports team, and you look at whether it's American football, European soccer, baseball, hockey, all those sports, you've got these fans that got their faces painted, they got the jerseys, they got the hats, they got the banners. They're super fans of that team. And what are they doing? They're promoting that team. And what's it costing the team? Nothing. Matter of fact, they're probably making tons of money off the merchandising. And these people got bumper stickers, they're wearing their jerseys around, and they're basically super fans of that sports team. And I go, why can't businesses create the same thing? And hence, when you see my background, we got our faces painted, we got super fans in the back, but we're wearing suits. So we're business super fans versus sports super fans. And so I started throwing some words down. And what was the fun part was that I will go back and say, hey, Kylie, look, I got 800 words down today. She goes, great. And the next day I got 1,200 words down today. Awesome. And so she was my motivation. And then I was starting to hit more. Okay, I got 1,300 words today. And it started to get put together. And then all of a sudden I had a couple people read it and they go, this has got legs. This is pretty good stuff. And what I did is I blended old school stuff that we've learned, but forgot to utilize because we're all caught up in doing everything on our phones and everything else. And so what I did is I blended old school techniques with new world approaches to create super fans, and that's what's really making it a success.
Awesome. And then in your background, so tell us a little bit about, just to set the stage for your global experience with marketing over the last 30 years. Give us just a little insight on that and where you got to today, where you're focusing on. I'm intrigued with the translation services. Is that your company now also?
Almost. I'm the general manager of it.
Cool. So
I'm actually we're talking about maybe me buying it. So we're in that conversation.
Nice.
So I started out as a draftsman / engineer long time ago. And if you remember, people may not remember, may need to look it up, but the 1982 Ford Escort, I'm the guy that designed the spot weld guns that spot welded the body panels on that car.
Whoa.
And so we had to do a lot of engineering, a lot of fixture design to make sure the body panels are being held. And then the person could come in with the spot weld gun and weld the tips perpendicular. So I was doing a lot of geometry. That led me into the computer-aided design world. I got hired in 1980 as an applications engineer. And so I taught companies like General Motors, Westinghouse, Eaton Corporation, and a multitude of others, Ball Corporation and such, going from drafting boards to designing in 3D on a computer. And so it was basically, is in the old world, you would think in 3D, you would design it in 2D, and then they would make it. So I had to teach people, this is, okay, you can eliminate the 2D design. You can go from 3D to 3D on the computer. And how I got into sales is I did that for about 5 years. And the company was looking for some salespeople and they wanted to grow it internally. So raised my hand, got picked. And I was very fortunate. I was sent through 6 months of sales training, some Vanguard training, strategic account management, Wilson learning, connecting with people and stuff like that. A lot of big heavy duty courses. And then for 6 months, I went through that 1 week training and then 3 weeks out in the field helping the real sales guys at the time. And in 86, I was officially in sales, and I actually ended up winning one of the awards of highest sales for the quarter. I had like 300 grand for the whole quarter. And I just kept moving up, eventually became a district manager, then a regional manager in Chicago. Then I moved to Arizona, and I was working for a UK company as a Western regional manager handling the whole Western United States. And then I joined a company in Scottsdale, Arizona as a director of worldwide sales and marketing. And basically it says, okay, here's a product. Nobody knows about it. You got a reputation. Go to work.
Your background sounds like mine. Got into sales because that's where the money was. And so I figured there's no limit to what I could make as a salesman. I've always been a sales guy most of my life, involved in people communications. And then I realized there's only so much I can make as a salesperson because it depends 100% on my ability to get up out of bed and go meet people face to face and close sales. So eventually I said, you know what, I'd rather make 1% of what 100 people can do versus 100% of what I can do, and got into marketing, so like the prospects in front of other salespeople and, get overrides on the whole thing. And that changed my entire direction over the last 20 years or so with online marketing. Since 1996, I've been an early adapter for internet marketing. So Freddy D, tell us then about, okay, so you moved into marketing and you've obviously had a lot of success with that since then. And then, so that's where the book came, and take us from there. Let's talk about your main subject here of what is a business super fan, and how do you create those type of super fans? Because all of us in this community, we're entrepreneurs, either getting started or we've got actual business growing, and obviously business super fans would be a blessing, but hard to come by. So how do you create them?
Well, I'll continue off from when I got into the international stuff, because that'll segue right into that question. So the product that I was in charge of was a product called CamWorks, which still exists today. And I came up with the marketing tagline back in 1998 of machining intelligence, because it was a relational database that had some smarts, and basically based upon some parameters, it would execute some things. And my job was to get this product global. And I set up about 60 resellers around the world. And one of the things that really changed my mindset on stuff is when I was dealing with Europeans and Asian people, it was a whole different way of selling. It was really more relationship building than it was transactional based. Real super short story. I was trying to sell into Japan, couldn't get anywhere. They loved the product. I talked about they would be master distributor, et cetera. I was in Australia, dinner with one of my resellers. I remember this guy said, Paul, what did I do wrong? He goes, what are you talking about? I says, well, I'm talking about the contract, the market opportunity, the profitability, blah, blah, blah. He goes, shut the blank up. He goes, start talking about them and get to know them, because they want to know who they're dealing with. and they want to build relationships. So next time I was in Japan, got to know them, got them to give me a tour of Tokyo, etc. They came here to Arizona. We had a 2-hour meeting, and I spent most of the day showing them around the valley. And a couple months later, I got a $200,000 order. So my point that was I built relationships with those people. And it's really important because you got to understand those were distributors that marketed other products besides ours. So I had to get shelf space. I had to build those relationships with them. And so I would recognize their birthdays. I would recognize them. We would have reseller, because they were known as a reseller, awards for the reseller that sold the most. But where I went different, and this leads into the book, and I talk about this in the book, is I didn't just recognize the company, because the company wasn't the people that made it successful. It was that salesperson or that tech guy at that company that were the ones promoting our product and making the sales for us. So I would recognize the company as well as that sales individual. And that was really the big difference, as I recognized that person. Because one of the quotes in my book is, people will crawl through broken glass for appreciation and recognition. Tell me I'm wrong, Marco.
Absolutely. That means more than a paycheck in a lot of cases. I mean, yeah, you got to have the money to go with your rewards if you're in sales or what have you. But the difference between just getting a bigger check or getting the recognition amongst their peers, amongst, being recognized to the higher level management, that kind of stuff lives in their minds forever, more than the bonus check or what have you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when I was selling back in Chicago, I had a company in Rockford, Illinois, that was a tool and die shop. And when I started, they were a 40-man company. And the last time I was there, probably over a decade ago, they were over 120, between 120 and 150 people. They bought the 2 buildings next to them. They wouldn't let me in. They were holding the door closed because it says every time you come in here, you cost us $100,000. But I turn around and says, yeah, but let's review. You built 2 breezeways, you got 2 businesses, you got a business in Virginia, you got a place in Sweden. So, but they were my super fan. And what I did there was I changed the sales approach to it's not my product. My widget's a widget. It can be blue, it can be green, it can be purple. Nobody cares. It's the CEO or the owner of a company doesn't care. He's interested in, so what's it cost me? What's it do for me? How fast do I make my money back and get a profit? That's it. Doesn't care about any of that other stuff. So I learned, and then the IT manager, I learned what his aspirations were. And so I helped him develop his reputation in the company by picking right technology, putting things in place. So every time I needed a reference, I could pick up the phone and say, okay, Marco, here's my phone. Call Bob at this manufacturing company and ask what he thinks of our service, our company, our software, and et cetera. And I just dropped the phone right in front of me and says, go ahead. Matter of fact, here's a whole list of my customers. I had a day timer back in the day, and pick any one of them. They're all referenceable. And most people would go, oh, no, that's okay. How fast can we get this system? And they were sold right then and there. And it was all because of that relationship. And if they did call Bob would turn around and talk me up, because he was a super fan of how I've helped grow their company and how I helped him grow. And because I built that relationship. When he was going through the divorce, who was at the bar having beers, listening to what was going on in his life? This guy. And that made the difference.
Folks, we'll be right back. We're going to hear from our sponsor, Marketing Boost, and we'll be right back. Hang on.
It's time to wow, surprise, and impress your clients with the most powerful customer draw card available anywhere. The Marketing Boost Solutions Show is brought to you by Marketing Boost, where you can get valuable travel and restaurant incentives to drive your leads from prospects to paying customers. Now you can offer complimentary hotel stays in over 130 destinations worldwide. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com and try it for free right now.
Welcome back to the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast. We're talking about business superfans, how to build them, how to create them, how to motivate your business superfans to help leverage those into more business and more successes. You just heard from our sponsor, Marketing Boost, which, by the way, is one way to reward your clients, your business fan, to turn them from just an average client to yours to be a business super fan. Reward them with incentives, bonuses, complimentary hotel stays, hotel savings cards, restaurant savings vouchers. Create your reward programs and customer client appreciation programs, etc. So back to our buddy here, Freddie D, the expert on building these business super fans. Take it away, Freddie. Tell us some more.
Well, excellent thing about what you guys do, and I think it's very complementary to building super fans. And one of the things that I did is I did a lot of research, and what I noticed was that there's a lot of people that are experts in customer retention and customer engagement and all that stuff, but really in the real world, that's a silo. It's just one component. And then there's people that say, okay, they're employee motivation experts and retention experts and blah, 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 but that's another silo. Nobody talks about complementary businesses that complement that business. Flooring and painting company, for example, two complementary businesses. So in reality, they're all intertwined. And here's a perfect example. Okay. The painting company paints a wall for Susie's super happy with John that painted the wall, his company. So she asked John, now that these walls are all painted, man, my flooring just doesn't look good. I need it looks old. Do you know anybody? Oh, yeah. John says, you got to talk to my friend Steve. Well, Steve is happy to send, but he sends Mike. And Mike doesn't feel appreciated, hasn't been recognized, feels he's underpaid, feels he's just doing a job, just showing up because nobody cares about Mike. So he begrudgingly goes to do the job. The job is not so terrific. The shortcuts are made, blah, blah, blah. So now Susie's upset. She's upset at John because he recommended Steve's company. So now he doesn't get a good review. He gets a negative review. She's upset with Steve's company because of the fact that his company did a horrible job. And so now you got two L's, two loses, versus the opposite could have been two W's for both companies, all because Steve doesn't take the time to appreciate the work that Mike does to make his business successful. So that's how all three, that's a perfect example of how all three components are tied together. And business owners need to understand that's the real world. That's the dynamic that really takes place. And it's paramount that, one, they recognize John for giving the referral, because otherwise, if it's a one-way aspect, John is always giving Steve the referrals, and Steve is not giving anything back, not even giving a finder's feedback or anything like that. Relationship is going to dissolve. Okay. Mike needs to be recognized and appreciated. So he changes his mindset, and he needs to be going, oh my God, yes, we're super excited. Oh, you worked with John? John's a stellar painting company, man. They're badass. And vice versa. And now that changes to where Susan feels, wow, I picked two great companies, and she's going to tell all her friends, and her friends are going to come over to the house. And now she's a super fan of both companies. Very easy, cost them zero money.
Makes a lot of sense. In other words, networking and building those relationships with complementary organizations that you can refer your clients to once you've got them built in. Now, hey, you might need the following. If they're not asking, you could still be, hey,
promoting.
One of the suggestions we have next for you is, whatever it is you do, you might, like you just said, okay, I'm a painter. So now you say, by the way, we've done your walls, we painted the outside of your house, you need some landscape. I recommend some landscaping. And the guy I recommend for that, he's really good, is XYZ company. And now, if they get the job, boom. And of course, you've got to have the trust and relationship that knows that landscaping company is going to deliver so that you look good and so forth. And everybody
so
keeps winning.
The painting guy is a super fan of the landscaping company. And it all ties together. And so there's the little things. And then the other thing I talk about in the book is I talk about follow-up. I talk about follow-up is monster. Let's talk about follow-up for a second. Follow-up is everything in business. You being in sales, you understand that completely. And timing of follow-up is monumental. Because if you take a day to follow up with somebody that inquired about your service or product, you've lost them. If you respond to them in 15 minutes or less, they're like, wow. And all of a sudden, it's a different mindset. You got to them, most likely, you got to them first because they're out there shopping to other companies. So you got to them first. So one, it shows that you're on top of the job. Number two, you can set the stage because as in sales, you never want to be the middle guy if they're looking shopping three companies. You want to be either the first guy to set the standard, or you want to be the third guy to do wrap up and clobber the two because you already know what the two have proposed in a sense. So being first is paramount because it sets the bar and you can set the standard. And so that's where follow-up is important. And not only prior to the sale, but more importantly, after the sale, because the sale begins when the sale's closed. That's the real sale. The onboarding, the engagement, the relationship beyond all that stuff. That's where marketing comes in because it's not, you got them in, but now you got to keep them and you got to engage with them and you got to make sure that the experience is a successful experience. And stuff happens, but if you react and follow up and handle it fast, then it's not a big deal. But if it's taken forever for you to follow up or you kick the ball down the road, that's a problem. Now you've lost that as a super fan customer. And now they're telling everybody, oh yeah, I bought those guys, but their service sucks. And that just wipes out all the work that you just did.
Show us your book there, if you would, so we can get some ideas on that. And I'm going to go ahead and, we got it. It's not, there it is. Yep. Creating Business Superfans. Yep. By Frederick Dudek, Freddy D. Let me share my screen real quick and show you guys a little bit of, well, I'm actually on your Business Superfans scorecard page. I found this interesting. Talk to us about the scorecard and what that's about.
Well, excellent thing, Marco. Thanks for bringing that up. So what's unique is that each chapter ends with a questions. And so when you're done with the chapter, you can rate yourself as to how did, on a scale of 0 to 10, how did you do that? Compare yourself into that chapter. 1 being not so good and 10 being a rock star. And you put the dots into the different chapters. And then you connect those dots and you'll find out that you most likely have a dilapidated wheel. And so then the scorecard goes into an action plan of what can you do. This is just the front of it, but there's several pages of what are your action steps to make changes and track your progress on making changes to improve your score.
I love it. I love it. Speaking of follow-up, I'm going to break to hear from Automation Booster, and we'll be right back.
Is your business on autopilot yet? Do you have automation in place to capture, nurture, and convert prospects into clients via email, SMS, ringless voicemails, appointment setting? Get all the inbound and outbound marketing tools in one place. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on automating your business so you can make money while you sleep.
We're talking to Freddy D about building business fans, super fans for your business. And right before the break, we were talking about the importance of follow-up and the speed of follow-up and making sure you're the first in line with producing that, creating that standard for people to choose you over somebody else. And guess what? If you're not using automation, if you're not using a CRM, if you're not quickly communicating with clients via email, text message, voicemail broadcasting, if you don't have proper sales landing pages that help sell your product, if you're winging it, guess what? You're losing it. Automation Booster, if you don't already have a CRM system or you're not happy with what you got, go check out automationbooster.com. I've in all of my years of marketing, and I've been in the business since 1996 with online marketing, I've never seen a product like Automation Booster that puts everything under one umbrella for all of your inbound and outbound communication program products to communicate quickly with your clients and automate a lot of those processes with follow-up, et cetera. So check it out at marketingboostsolutions.com. You'll see the link for Automation Booster. Back to you, Freddie D. Let's talk about going back. Let me pull back up your website once more. And let me see if I get back to your main page. Folks, you can find this at businesssuperfans.com, and you can order his book, listen to his up-and-coming podcast, and join his community, and check out the free scorecard. That's one of the things that we want to promote today is after you've read the book or during the process of reading the book, you can be following along with your scorecard and see how you measure up with your ability to be prospecting, following up, generating some thank you and birthday messages to your clients. And what else we have on this circle? I can't quite read it upside down.
Appreciation, recognition, retention, the unexpected extra. And let me talk about the unexpected extra real quick. The unexpected extra is monster size. Here's a perfect example and a real world example. Last year, we went to a restaurant. We ordered the food, and it was basically a takeout delivery. So we ordered it, got it all in. I show up there, no order. So the hostess goes and gets the manager. The manager comes back and says, look, here's the caller ID. I called it in, all that stuff. He goes, oh, our apologies. We'll make it right away. Here, have a beer on us while we cook the food. So sitting there having the beer, comes back out the food, pull it out. We look at it. When snowballs, it snowballs. One of the dinners is wrong, completely wrong. He's completely embarrassed. He goes, all right, I'm going to go back and make sure that this is taken care of. So he goes back. 10 minutes later, he comes back. He goes, hang on a second. And he runs back, comes back. He gives us two desserts, okay, 2 cheesecakes, desserts. And then he pulls out 2 coupons for $5 off for both of us to come back. And I says, okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. What do I owe it? He goes, no. It's our mistake. He goes, it's all in the house. I went like, wow, really? He goes, yep, it's all in the house. And guess what? I'm talking about that place. It's called Hula's. I'm going to promote them. They're in High Street in Phoenix. And we've gone back there many times because the food's excellent and the service is excellent. And there's a perfect example of how to leverage the unexpected extra to create a super fan.
Something going over and above and unexpected, etc. And by the way, that ties in a perfect segue to promote myself again with marketingboostsolutions.com. Folks, let me give you an idea of how many of my clients and myself even have used Marketing Boost incentives to fix a customer service problem like that. For example, the one he just described, and I've had clients where we dropped the ball. Maybe we didn't fulfill as quickly as we should have. We shipped the wrong product, who knows? And even if after they've written a negative review, we've gone back and said, listen, we want to beg you to give us the opportunity to hit the reset button. We're going to ship you a new product. We're going to fix the problem. We're going to do this or do that. And on top of everything else, we want to give you a complimentary hotel stay, your choice of Las Vegas or San Diego, on us. Actually, you have 130 destinations to choose from. But you said just like that coupon or that free cheesecake, you might say, look, let me give you a 3-day getaway on us just for your aggravation. And if after we fix the problem and we give you the complimentary hotel stay on us, would you consider removing that review or updating it at least? And you'd be surprised how many people will gladly, after they go from being upset at you to turn them around to becoming an evangelist for your brand, like you are with that restaurant you just described, Hula's. Was it that correct?
Yep.
And now you're an evangelist for that brand. And when you walked in the door, if it wasn't fixed correctly, you could have easily been one to not only never go back, written several negative reviews on multiple places, and helped kill that business, versus now you're a brand here talking about it who knows how many months later. And that is an example of how you potentially, whether you use your own widgets or your own bonus or your own going out of your way to fix the problem and add additional bonuses or freebies, Marketing Boost is an example of how you can do it that doesn't cost you hardly anything and yet reward your clients or prospects for referring additional clients or for solving a customer service issue, et cetera. Not to divert and use and be biased with Marketing Boost, but it ties in with your, we have used it ourselves. even onto your next wheel subject, I'm going to quickly jump back to your wheel. The reviews, maybe some of you may not know the story of Marketing Boost, and the whole company was born on first our own desire to generate video reviews for one of our travel websites. And let me tell this quick story real quick, because it might fall into some of your story with your book, but we needed video reviews. And by the way, any business today, you better be generating a consistent flow of reviews for that social proof you need to build your business. And we wanted video reviews, so we couldn't get anybody to ever hardly do it. We were to review the hotels and resorts we were promoting. So we came up with an idea to offer them a bonus, a complimentary hotel stay of 3 nights in Orlando or Las Vegas if they would film a selfie testimonial about the hotel they were staying at. But we did that in a format that right now I'm going to tell you everybody can use this tip. We would do a survey when we expected our client to be at the peak of happiness, which in our case is 3 days, right after they check in, or the day after they check in. So we'd send them a message, email, and text message saying, hey, how are we living up to your expectations? Can you rate us from 1 to 5? How's the hotel? How's our service been so far? Now, the benefit of that is if they weren't happy, we would know about it and get a chance to fix it before they went and wrote a negative review or something. And if they were happy, if they were giving us 4s and 5s, which fortunately the majority were, then we were asking those, hey, would you do us a favor and help us tell the story, tell the others about that hotel, that brand, and our brand. And if you do that, we'll reward you with a complimentary hotel stay. Well, guess what? We've generated now over 30,000 video testimonials on that website alone, and thousands of video reviews on other products of ours. And that process has been one way we control online reputation, and we even throttle reviews. Here's another tip. Because we're doing this on a consistent basis with an automated system of following up with people after they're using our products and services, we're then throttling the reviews. We're requesting some of the reviews to go to trustpilot.com, third-party review sites, others to go to SiteJabber, others to go to Shopper Approved, others to Google My Business, others to Facebook. And combined, when Google sees all of these third-party reviews popping up with our brand names and different third-party review sites, guess what? People search us and boom, they're going to see thousands of reviews and the social proof we need. So back to you. I didn't mean to hog my own microphone here.
It's fine, but I want to continue on reviews, because reviews is really the new word of mouth. I mean, if you think about it, if you're riding, and there's times where Kylie and I will decide where are we going to go eat, what are we going to do? She looks it up. First thing we do off of our phone is check what? The reviews. And if it's got bad reviews, we don't go. And that's the way that's the world today. So what you just said is paramountly important, is getting those reviews. And I always say, you got a smartphone nowadays. All you got to do is just remember to turn it horizontal, not vertical. Turn it horizontal, and right then and there, you just delivered something, or you provided a service, you're all done. The customer is all excited. It takes a couple seconds to say, hey, Marco, would you be willing to give us a quick video testimonial, about a minute? And is it okay for us to be able to post it? That's it. It's not rocket science.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have to be Hollywood. It's okay if you bobble the video. It's real. It's believable. And I recommended that back 10 years ago to a construction company in Chicago, and their business blew up because of that. And then they did the follow-up 6 months later. Hey, Mary Lou, how's the kitchen? I know that everybody parties and hangs out in the kitchen, so I hope you're enjoying the kitchen remodel we've done. Geez, I can't believe it's a year's gone by. Hi. And not sell, no 10% discount to buy my stuff. It's just, hi, good thing. Oh, happy birthday. It's your birthday. Just send you a birthday card. It's just staying in touch.
Speaking of, let me interrupt you. I like your background on the screen right now. If you're watching this on video, folks, he's got a QR code up in the right-hand corner, which is one of the easiest ways today to ask people to engage. I see so many businesses that I go to and visit, like restaurants, that any brick and mortar business, and they do nothing to really acquire your contact information. In today's world, you need to be acquiring and building a database that you own, that you can continue to nurture and follow up and so forth. Easy as putting a QR code on a table tents in your restaurant or on your business if you're a brick and mortar, and motivate and promote that your staff. Ask people to click on the QR code, maybe to register to win a complimentary hotel stay, like Marketing Boost could provide you or what have you. And once they're on that page, of course, you could be saying, hey, share this, post this live on your Facebook fan page. You could be easily asking people and rewarding them to tell others about your business on the spot, when most businesses don't even bother to come up with any creative ideas to how to capture the contact information of the client. And so anyway, back to you, because I think we're on the same page here on as what you were just describing there, Freddie.
Yeah, and then the same thing with the next thing in the wheel is referrals. And you got to be able to ask for referrals. People will want to help you. I mean, once people invest in your business, whatever it is that you do, they want you to be successful. They don't want to be tied to a losing business. They want to be tied to a winning business. So it's one of the things that, and I'll segue between referrals and gratitude, is I coach people to say, okay, put out a thing at the 6-month mark, put out a newsletter, for example, to all your customers and say, hey, because of you guys, we've grown 20%. We've added 2 new people to the organization. People go, oh my God, they think I'm going to make me money. No, they're going to be excited that you're growing because they're got a vested interest in your business. And so that's when you can start asking referrals and thanking them for all the referrals and everything else. And you can even have rewards for referrals. I mean, there's a multitude of things that you can do to rewards. And that's where it segues into the gratitude. At the end of the day, Thanksgiving is a very brilliant marketing time, because that's a time of giving thanks, and hence the words Thanksgiving. And I coach people is don't promote, don't do crapola, just send them a card through the old postal mail, a real card saying, hey, you know what? We're grateful for you being a customer. We know it's the beginning of the holiday season, and we just wish you and your family a warm holiday season from us. That's it.
Yeah, you don't have to ask for anything else. Just show that gratitude. And by the way, speaking of referrals, when you ask for referrals and successfully a client gives you a variety or list of referrals, 1, 2, or 3, they are now psychologically a superfan, because now they have to they're going to justify in their own mind, this is a good product. I referred friends to it, so I believe in it.
They're now a super fan. They're out promoting.
They're out promoting it. So the more you can get them immediately referring others, and maybe that means building and creating an affiliate program, referring commissions back to people who refer you, clients and so forth. But the moment they refer 2 or 3 people to you or so on, they have immediately in their own mind said, I love this brand, and therefore I'm referring it. So asking for referrals is part of the mix that you need to be doing. And it's one of the things that some people are afraid to do. A lot of business owners are like, hey, just kind of, or salespeople, they made the close, they sold it, and they want to get moving on. They need to, part of your process should be asking for referrals immediately after the sale in most cases.
Yep.
Back to your wheel. So gratitude, and you're referring to sending direct mail pieces to everybody with a thank you note, which is a great idea.
Yeah, and the same thing with, around the holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, all that stuff, just sending out a holiday card, no promotion, no business card in there, no discounts. It's just happy holidays, wishing you a new prosperous new year. And that's it. It's just simple touches. I tell people if you want to really blow up your brand, you send something goofy. And I had a mortgage company, a guy that owned the mortgage company. He sent a Halloween card. He goes, what are you talking about, Halloween card? He says, trust me, it works. And so he dressed up, put a picture of himself in a Halloween costume on the card, and just sent a funny message to everybody. He got more phone calls than he's ever gotten from his customers. One thing, what a cool card. Okay. And second of all, thanks for reaching out. And then he did the Thanksgiving, and then he did the holidays. And guess what happened to his business in the following year? It blew up because he got in front of everybody, zero selling. It was just recognition and showing appreciation and showing gratitude to those customers.
Speaking of that, I see in your wheel the birthday card, the birthday section.
Yep.
And one of the things, by the way, guys, if you haven't noticed, if you're an annual member of Marketing Boost and you join one of our onboarding calls, we give you the Birthday Connector software, which is a software that connects to all of your contacts on Facebook and never forgets to send them a birthday message so that you can, like we're talking about here, part of the gratitude. You're just on their birthday, sending them a message. With the way the software works is you actually can send them 3 messages. The way I use it, I'll send them a message 2 days before their birthday wishing, hey, I see you got a birthday coming up soon. Then I'll send them a message on their birthday. It's a customized image branded with their name in it and my brand. So it's just a little branding thing going, hey, me and the team at Marketing Boost, we want to wish you a phenomenal birthday. So I hope you enjoy. And then a couple of days later, I'll send them a message with a call to action. And in my case, simple. It'll be like, hey, by the way, I hope you had a wonderful birthday. Hope it was off the charts. And if, by the way, if you're in business for yourself, check out the Marketing Boost Facebook group where we can show you how to grow your business. So I'm not selling anything. I'm offering them a join our free Facebook group. And again, that's part of the way I've grown that group to over 30,000 members, entrepreneurs that are building their business. So just a simple idea, again, keeping in touch with the Facebook software that doesn't cost me any money to send them a direct mail piece. And I may not even have their address to always be sending them a postcard in the mail, but via Facebook, boom, it's automatic. So it's just an idea there. You might go get that from, if you're an annual member of Marketing Boost, it's available to you at no cost. Freddie D, what other ideas can we do to build these business super fans?
Well, other things would be like you've got in your case, the Facebook group. So businesses can create a Facebook group, for example, and it's just information. They can provide information. It's a mechanism for customers to engage back with them. I mean, there's software tools for support. So if they have questions and stuff, so you want to make it easy if somebody has an issue, and life happens, but it's the response time that is paramount. And I can't emphasize that enough, because I'm right now, as we talked earlier, I'm running an interpreting and translation company where we provide language communications to non-English proficient individuals in 400 languages, both spoken, American Sign Language, and document translation. And sometimes there's a glitch. We have software that they can connect to an interpreter in less than 60 seconds. And sometimes stuff happens. I mean, it's technology. But the fact that they reach out, a lot of times I get the message and I respond to them. Okay, I look into it, respond to them, and then I get a response in less than 15 minutes. And a lot of time the email that gets back is, thank you so much and for getting back to me and looking into this so fast. And I maintain them as a super fan. And it's $650,000 a year with the business. So it's important to be responsive and fast. And that's really the thing that you want to build superfan, like we talked earlier. Things happen. You talked about getting a negative review because service wasn't there, something fell apart, blah, blah, blah. But if you take the effort immediately to get the thing resolved versus kicking it down the can, well, they wrote us a bad review, screw it, we'll get a couple more new positive reviews and we'll push that one down. That's the mindset. The reality is, I like what you said, Marco, is let's see if we can turn that customer around, because that's the selling part right there. And turn that customer around, and now you've got a super fan for life, because they're going to turn around and says, you know what, they messed up, but you know what, they stood up, owned it, and took care of it, and made it right, and made it better. And that's really critical in today's world, because a lot of people, like I said before, just kick it down the can.
Yeah, it's obviously easier to do that than to get engaged in trying to fix the issue. But those negative reviews live online forever. And of course, we have multiple brands and multiple companies, and we sell travel to different destinations around the world. Lots of products are out of our control. What was the hotel like? What was the room like? What was the experience like in a hotel we don't own or operate? And there's certain things you can never please everybody. So there's some reviews that they're negative. They're going to be there. And generating more positive reviews is part of the solution.
You can also respond to that negative review.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't ignore it. You've got to put a response to it. And even if you don't agree with the review, at least acknowledge, because I have a saying that an individual's perception is their own reality, right or wrong. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's their perception, and for them it's right, and you might think it's wrong. It's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant, and getting and responding to them will at least hopefully keep it to that one review. Because often when you're upset, think about this, Soliciting reviews, by the way, is part of the process you need to have. Otherwise, normally, when we buy any product or service, we expect to be happy when we bought the product or service. So when we're happy, we don't go nuts writing positive reviews all over the place in most cases because, hey, I'm happy with the product or service. That's what I expected. But if I'm not happy, we're motivated to go write multiple negative reviews. And the more unhappy I am, the more inclined I am to go write it on Facebook, on their Facebook page, to take it to everywhere I can find a place to post a negative review about that company. I want everybody in the world to know about it. And guess what? Google also likes to make sure if there's a negative review, that's the one they're going to put on top. That you might have 100 positive reviews, but one negative, that's the one they tell the whole world about. They put the negative right up on top for everybody to see it. So again, if you would take care of it, at least they might not go post it anywhere else. They might just live on the one place they posted, so they don't go write it on Yelp and Google.
Because at least they were recognized.
They were recognized.
And that's the thing. It goes back to appreciation, recognition. You took a moment to recognize them and say, okay, I can see your point. It's not, don't get into an argument. Just acknowledge it. I understand where you're coming from, and we're sorry that this happened, etc. And it's the same thing with on reviews. Is you deliver a service, and usually that's the end of it. Nobody follows up. Well, how did Johnny do the lawn job? How did this happen? Or how was the plumber? The service is done, good or bad. You don't hear nothing. There's no follow-up. And that's where follow-up, again, is important, is after the sale or after the service has been provided, to reach back out. And now is a chance to say, okay, how was the plumbing? Oh, he did an excellent job. Super nice guy. Great. Linda, would you be willing to write us a review on Google? We'd be really grateful. It would help us out. And if you get that done, we'll send you a $5 Starbucks gift card. Simple little stuff makes the difference.
Yep. So let me share some screen. Let's tell people how they can get a hold of you one more time. Freddy D, tell us where we can find you.
You can go to I got two websites. So Frederick Dudek, Frederick. You can find me on Facebook as well. And then there's also the businesssuperfans.com website.
Great, folks. All of these links are in the notes below here on the podcast or on the YouTube channel. If you like the content we've brought to you today, please comment below. Tell us what you thought. Tell us how you've built any superfans for your business, how you've generated reviews, or what you think of the ideas we presented below. Please comment, like below. Give us a review of the podcast. Would be a huge something we'd be grateful for. Give us a review and like and share. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast or subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks again, folks, for listening in to another episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast. Again, we're here trying to bring you or delivering to you content that we hope you can help you build your business with, inspire you to succeed, and continue to grow your business. Don't forget to check out marketingboostsolutions.com, where you can find software solutions such as the birthday connector I mentioned, automation booster, social lead connector, different products to help you generate unlimited leads. Right here on the screen, you can connect with Freddy D. Click on that QR code up there, or click at the links below. Thank you very much again. Like, subscribe, and share.
Thank you, Marco. It's a pleasure being on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast with your hosts, Captain Marco Torres. Now it's on you. Take the next step now. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on how you can wow, delight, and surprise your clients with the most amazing draw card on the planet. So stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty for knowledge. See you next time.